My husband says he's upset with me because, in his words, "Sweetie, you need to stop spending so much money on DoorDash. Ordering it 3 times a day is not appropriate and we need to start living within our means." Honey, it sounds like you have an income problem, not that I have a spending problem. Start earning more money and we won't have these issues. So I took his credit card that we share and I booked a vacation for my daughter Richard and I. We're staying in a hotel tonight and I hope he enjoys that I charged $8,000 to his credit card. Make more money, darling. My husband.
There are so many things wrong with this video, guys. I can only hope it is satire. Okay, we got all these single mothers out here, and you know, for it's sad to say, gentlemen, but for good reason a lot of the time, okay? Nobody wants to deal with these girls. Okay, what they'll do is they'll go out, they'll have their fun with Chad, and then, you know, and then they expect a good guy to come along and pay for their entire life, and if he doesn't, he's not a high-value man. But like I said, there are so many things wrong with this video, guys, and we are going to discuss them today. But what is going on, gentlemen? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we have a few videos to go through as well as a few stories. So if you're new here, guys, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord and the locals, links in the description if you haven't already. And we're just going to crack right in. We might return to that first video, but we're going to take a look at this one first. So it has the caption on it: "How does raising and investing in your ex-kids benefit me? What do I gain from working hard and cashing out on another man's kids?" Great question. Let's see how this woman answers it.
This is the ignorant mentality that I speak about. This type of man is a low value man. He has no purpose, nor does he know who God created him to be. To make a comment to say, how does it benefit you to raise somebody else's kid? How does it benefit for you to cash someone else's kid? Shows that you have no emotional intelligence. You have no intellect, okay? Because, see, the reality of it is, we're all God's creatures. If you are in love with someone, you embrace their children as if they're yours.
I love how they wield faith as a weapon. Guys, look, I don't talk about, you know, faith and different kinds of things on this channel oftentimes. I really try not to bring it up, okay? But I find it incredibly disgusting when they wield their own faith or someone else's against men in order to say what we should or shouldn't do. We should not be taking care of your child that you had to another man. I don't care how much you try and guilt trip us into it. I don't care how much you cry on camera. It's not happening. Okay, and notice how when the guy questions it and he says, you know, why would I take care of the kid? She insults him by calling him, you know, someone who's not intellectual. Okay, these girls get in their head. What they do is they watch Kevin Samuels, right? And then they walk away thinking, well, I'm going to go get me a higher value man. You know, a man who will invest in me and earns a lot of money. It's just absolutely ridiculous. These people have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Okay, and the thing is, it's like, why would men invest in you? And for men to ask that question, oh, we're terrible. Okay, we're these terrible, awful people because we ask, why should we do something? No, guys, just apparently we're just supposed to fall in line, right? We're just supposed to do whatever they want because we're all God's creatures. I find that incredibly disturbing that people will use stuff like that in order to manipulate people into taking care of their mistakes. Okay, you should keep the father around. Where is he? Let's continue.
Okay, and the reason you would do that, if you have an understanding of what you believe and how you believe it, God takes us and he makes us his own, right? So when he actually died on the cross, the gospel was given to the Jews, and yet the Jews did not care about the Gentiles, and he grafted us in, the Gentiles, which it didn't belong to us, but he grafted us in. We're now considered his. We're not considered stepchildren. So when you carry a mentality as ignorant as cashing out somebody else's kid, it shows that you lack any integrity, any morality. It shows that you're self-centered and possibly narcissistic.
Yeah, it's narcissistic of us to not want to deal with the things that you have caused in your life. Can you imagine, right, flipping, and she's sitting here and she seems to genuinely believe what she's saying. Right, is it me, guys? Do you find this disturbing? Let us know in the comments, because goodness gracious me, I find it incredibly interesting how people who themselves will be incredibly narcissistic, entitled, and, you know, not so intellectual in their own words, by the way, not necessarily throwing it at this girl before YouTube decides to cancel me, right? I find it incredibly interesting that they will throw out all of these insults and yet display those exact same characteristics themselves. Right? A lot of dudes are in relationships, and I said this a couple of videos ago, right? A lot of guys are in relationships, and and the girl will go off at them, and the guy will believe them, thinking that they're actually the problem. Too many guys think that they're the problem when they're not, because you get girls like this who throw out the word like narcissist and oh, he was terrible and he was all this and that. So guys walk out of relationships, you know, the relationship ends, and the guy thinks that he's this terrible person because of all the words that the girl called him. Right? A lot of them are just not based in reality at all.
It shows many different things, and this is why so many families are broken, and especially in the Black community. Let's talk about that. This is why our community continues to lack. So
yeah, because men aren't picking up your pieces. Like, can someone please make that make sense to me? Goodness gracious.
When you go out there in the streets and you see somebody disrespecting an older person, you see a young youth maybe going wayward, do you not say to yourself, maybe I should say something to that young blood right there? Let me say, hey dude, that's not the right way to go. We can do better. And take somebody under your wing and mentor them. See, when you start thinking about others beyond yourself, you make different choices, you grow. But that mentality that you mentioned right there is the reason why, you know, all these celebrities still got women popping their butts on the videos, degrading themselves. They all about the money and the cash and the power and all these bling, 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 because y'all stupid and ignorant.
Yeah, right. And she's not about the money or the power, guys. Like, just open up your wallet, right? Take care of her kids. Or her kid. I don't know how many it is, right? And but she's not all about the money, though. Right? She's not all about what she can get from other people. I find it incredibly hilarious how, you know, people will want men to be chivalrous and great and take care of them, right? And they'll say, oh, this is what makes you good. See, notice the theme of this video, right? And notice the theme of the original video, which I'll pull up again, because we will be returning to this one right here, right? Notice how the theme is, in order to be a good man, in order to be a good person, you have to open up your wallet. Right? You have to be the one taking care of others, and that's what makes you a good person. Dude, and you ever stop to question, like, why would I do that for these people? And you're just this you're disgusting, right?
I hate to say that, but that's what the Bible calls it, stupid and ignorant and foolish. And until you start learning who you are and valuing yourself, and you'll start valuing and seeing other people and start wanting to build them up.
Yeah, build them up. Take care of my child. Okay, build... Guys, goodness gracious me, you just can't make that sort of stuff up. But we're going to go back to this video and address it before we kind of get into the rest of today's show here. So let's go through this lady's points. And guys, make sure you comment as we go through as well. I want to see what you guys think of these situations. Maybe it's just me. Who the hell knows?
Husband says he's upset with me because, in his words, sweetie, you need to stop spending so much money on DoorDash. Ordering it 3 times a day is not appropriate, and we need to start living within our means.
Why are you ordering DoorDash 3 times a day? Do you not know how to cook? Okay? Like, what are you doing all day? Okay? Like, dude, you can cook. You don't have to order 3 meals a day. You know what I mean? It's like, what would you do before when DoorDash wasn't around? You know, it's like you would be doomed, I guess, I suppose. You're just gonna sit there and do nothing. Right, but no, see, it's on the man, right? And again, during this video, I'm pretty sure this isn't even his kid she mentions, so let's continue.
Honey, it sounds like you have an income problem, not that I have a spending problem. Start earning more money and we won't have these issues. So I took his...
Imagine being that ungrateful, right? Imagine being that grateful. Start getting more income. Like, you know what I mean? And this woman's sitting at home ordering DoorDash 3 times a day. Get out of here, man.
Credit card that we share, and I booked a vacation for my daughter Richard and I.
Okay, so let's talk about that. All right, so she booked a vacation for, you know, the daughter and herself. All right, so she's wording it as though that's her daughter and not the man's. Okay, so maybe he's not the biological parent and she's taking away the kid. All right, very interesting that you're expecting the man to pay for you and your stuff during the day. Okay, when it's not even his kid. That's first of all. Now let's just say she kind of misworded it and it is his kid. Interesting to see how she's essentially stealing his child to go on a vacation. And that's supposed to be completely normal for what reason exactly?
staying in a hotel tonight, and I hope he enjoys that I charged $8,000 to his credit card. Make more money, darling.
Yeah, and I hope that's satire, right? I really do, guys, because honestly, that's just totally unacceptable. That is the type of thing that you see and you just kick them the hell out. Like, they're just gone. They're instantly gone. They should not be in your life at all. But gentlemen, we've got one more video before we jump into today's Reddit stories. So let's see what this woman here has to say. And the video is a bit thin by nature, so bear with it as we continue through.
I'm pretty sure my PC was like 2K. I mean, mine was a bit cheaper because I did get a free 3070 in exchange for feet photos. Like, literally one picture of my foot got me a 3070, so that's why mine's a bit cheaper. You were the...
I love how, right, women will get on camera and they'll say that they're oppressed and they're treated terribly, right? Meanwhile, they just passively receive gifts from other people, right? As if it's nothing. Oh, yeah, he gave me this. Oh, yeah, he gave me that. And, like, that's just... And then they'll bring up the wage gap, which, by the way, hasn't existed since the 1960s. But hey, you know, these people have no idea what the hell's going on.
That gave me the 3070 no longer watches me. Hope he's doing well. I think his wife caught him. I really have a theory that the guy that gave me the 3070 for feet pictures was married. And his wife was like, what the fuck did you just buy? And he bought my panties. So maybe his wife found my panties, because literally right after he bought my panties, he gave me a great review. He never came back after that, so I'm assuming his wife found out.
Goodness gracious me, man. You know, I don't think that dudes should be buying... like, honestly, if you're someone out here, you're just wasting money on these people, I have no idea what to tell you. I really don't. They're not deserving of your money. Like, that just makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, what a lot of guys will do is they'll buy girls things expecting that they're going to get a relationship out of it, or the girl's going to notice them at any point. Gentlemen, that is rarely ever going to be the case. And if they notice you, it's going to be so that they can use you continually. Right? These guys think that, oh, because guys have been brainwashed into the idea, right? At the beginning of the video, like we talked about. Hey, if you pay for stuff, that makes you a good guy and she's going to notice you. Right, that's the theme that's being pushed into men, right? Hey, open up the wallets, right? Show us what you're made of, and then maybe someone will care. Right? That's just so it goes. Guys, if a girl's not interested in you, buying her stuff isn't going to change anything, right? And if it does change something, you should be far more concerned about that, okay? Because now you're just a vending machine, is what you are, okay? Now, guys, we're going to crack into today's first story here, and this is a bit of a funny one. And I say it's funny, but, you know, to the guy, it's probably not so funny, okay? So, the title here is Update. So, I don't know, we'll see what's going on here. My girlfriend, who's a 29-year-old girl, and I'm 35, told me that she was an adult film star before we met. I've never updated a post before, so I hope I'm doing this right. First, I want to say thanks to everyone, blah, blah, blah. My girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years. Nearly 2 weeks ago, on our second anniversary, I proposed to her, and she said yes. Oh no. It was a great night with a great dinner and lots of fun time. The next morning, she was acting strange and said she needed to tell me something. If you read the title, then you can guess what she told me. Before she met me, she made some adult movies. She said she wanted to tell me many times over the past 2 years out of honesty and transparency. She was worried because when she had told guys in the past they didn't want anything serious from her or just broke up with her. She said she was worried that I would only want her for bedroom fun and nothing else, and she says she has never felt this way about a man before. Hell yeah, dude, just get manipulated right into that marriage. Guys, it is so disgusting to me that people will use the word love, right, in order to actively manipulate other people to stay in relationships and get something out of them. You've got to understand, gentlemen, that marriage is not the same for men and women, okay? For women, it is a lot better of an experience, right? It's your day, you get the wedding paid for, you get a ring to bring to all your girlfriends about, right? You get financial security during the marriage and after the marriage if you decide to end it, for which, by any, you know, you can end it, why the hell not? Right? You don't even have to have a reason to end the relationship. So you get so many benefits out of the relationship. The man has to pay. He has to risk his assets and his income. He has to risk his children if he has them. He has to risk his self-respect. Okay? Like, and he has to get on his knees to you and propose. Right? Which is, okay, like he has to do all of these things. Right? And so dudes will get manipulated into this. Right, you may think that society may have told you that this is a 50-50 exchange, right? Where oh, you're getting married, congratulations to the guy, right? It's like it's an equal exchange going on here. It absolutely is not. Okay, and what I will say is this, right? A lot of girls these days, gentlemen, not necessarily worth your commitment. Okay, not necessarily worth that. Hell, I would say that nobody is really worth marriage with the way things are at the moment, guys. But let's continue onwards. She then said she made the films to earn money to start her own online business, and when that took off, she quit the industry. This is a lie. Another reason she wanted to tell me is she was worried a friend or relative or even a stranger might recognize her. I get that, but nothing has ever happened, so part of me is wondering why she told me now. The only question I asked is if she is still in touch with anyone from those days. Yes, she is. She said she is Facebook friends with a few other women, but no guys and no one she has ever made a film with. I'm honestly too scared to ask more questions. Don't waste your time by calling me insecure or anything like that. It's not helpful and all you can do is be condescending. Just keep it to yourself. That's kind of disgusting as well that this guy has to say this, right? Because he already knows that people are going to call him insecure. Right? If you guys notice how he had to say that there, right? Is like, if you don't want to marry someone who's been in the adult industry, that makes you insecure. That's where we're at in society, guys. I don't want to marry someone who's been in the entertainment industry like that. I don't want to marry anyone, for God's sake, right? Okay, but to say that you are actively shamed for not wanting to do that, especially after she lied to you as well, right? That's just the icing on the cake. Is so disgusting, man. You see how men are kind of bullied and you know, socially pushed into these situations? I don't know about you guys. I just find that to be like evil, for lack of a better word. Let's continue. I don't want to break up over this. We have so much fun together in every aspect of our lives. We have plenty of things in common that we enjoy doing together, and we have the same sense of humor, and yes, the fun is amazing. But I can't seem to get the images out of my head. I don't know if talking about it with her will make it better or worse. We'll confirm what I'm already thinking or put new ideas in my head. She can tell that this is weighing on me, and she seems very apprehensive and anxious about what I will decide to do. Like I said, we have a great relationship and I don't want to break up, but how do I move past this so I stop thinking about it? Update. So about 3 weeks and maybe a day or two after I learned about my girlfriend's past, I had a very interesting experience. I woke up one morning and for the first time I couldn't remember what was bothering me. It was a strange feeling, sort of like when you know you've forgotten to do something but can't remember, or you're trying to remember a dream right after waking up. Man, I hope this isn't him like segueing into the fact that he doesn't seem to mind anymore. I hope that's not where we're going with this. Of course, a minute later I did remember. While it still bothered me a little, I had a new perspective on it, that maybe I could get past this and we could make the relationship work. I did spend a little time thinking about what would happen if someone recognized her, and now, without realizing it, I thought my response would be, your fantasy is my reality, and that made me smile. No, we've lost him. Moment of silence, gentlemen. We've lost him to the dark side. Oh, goodness gracious me. You see, what happens is, like, the oxytocin, right? It's just in this guy too much. He starts to justify and he goes, oh, well, I could deal with that. Guys, don't deal with this, please. Like, obviously, it's your decision to make, and if you're in a situation like this, it's totally up to you, man. But just understand that you are compromising your self-respect when you do this, okay? And, you know, you can do that at your own risk if you'd like, but... I was hoping, you know, I was hoping we'd go towards a more positive direction, but it is what it is. When I saw my girlfriend, I told her that I wanted to talk about us. To my surprise, she started crying. She said that the anxiety of the situation just took over and she had been waiting for me to say I was ready to say that she just got emotional. We were pretty open about the situation and I was direct and honest about what was bothering me. She listened and was very understanding and reasonable about everything. We talked for a while, but I'm just going to summarize the conversation. First of all, I told her that in the moment I didn't fully trust her to be faithful. I was worried about the fact that she would so easily do these kinds of actions with strangers that it made me think she placed a very low value on intimacy, and how I could be that she would stay faithful to me. She swore and promised that she never cheated on me and never would. She said everything a person would want to hear. I said that all of that was great, but I would still need some time assurances. She wanted to know what she could do, and I said it was much as her responsibility to make me trust her again as it was for me to do so. Basically, I said she is going to have to figure that out. Furthermore, I told her that this revelation and the fact that she waited so long to tell me makes me view her differently, and that I would need time to reevaluate how I felt about her. Good, but you should be gone, but it is what it is. I said that I had more questions and things I wanted to talk about, but at this moment it would be difficult for me to believe her. The last thing I said to her was bittersweet. I told her that while I didn't want to break up with her and that I wanted to try to make our relationship work, we couldn't be engaged while all of this was happening. That made her pretty sad and she cried for a long time when I said that. But then she composed herself, we talked some more, and I guess we will see what happens. After we talked for a couple of hours, I realized that I hadn't had any physical desire since she told me. It all came rushing back. We spent the rest of the day doing this fun stuff. It's not a perfect situation, but I'm confident that I will be able to move past this and we will stay together and make things work. Boys, I really thought, we'd have something a bit more right there, but, the oxytocin wins. It is what it is, and guys will stay in situations that they shouldn't be in. Like, guys, I will say this. If you're in a situation like that, it's totally up to you, what you'd like to do. But we had earlier this year, I believe it was Riley Reid, right? She got married or something like that. Goodness gracious me. I hope that was a business move on the man's behalf, but it is what it is. But on the topic of marriage, guys, we have something else we're going to look at here. And this is titled, Female, Does It Make Me a Bad Friend to Envy my best friend's marriage? So before you kind of crack into this, what I'd like to point out is on the vein of marriage being different for men and women, one of the reasons that it's different is because women kind of get men do too, but we don't care so much about this. But a lot of the reason why girls will actually get married is it's a social status thing. It's a bragging thing. It's like, oh, look what I got. Look who I bagged. You see what I'm saying? And this happens in relationships too when girls get into relationships with guys. Oftentimes they're actually doing it so that they can say, oh, look who I got. Right? Look at this fancy ring I got. Look at this man I got. It's not so much about the love as it is, the making other girls envious. So just keep that in mind as we read through this. So I have 3 years with my boyfriend, 1 toddler, and currently pregnant. My best friend is married, I'm not. We are both pregnant. They are saving up to start the process of their house. My boyfriend doesn't like sharing financial details completely with me, and I've told him numerous times it bothers me. I don't have at least a promise ring, which I feel it's well deserved. I don't do anything rather than take care of my toddler, and it's extra hard since I'm pregnant. I mean, once again, it sounds as though it's her kid. Right, so what do you want? Do you want a couple of claps or something, like a bravo for taking care of your child? Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Especially if, the way it's worded, it's not his child. Like, it blows my mind that the people just think that they're just deserving of these things. Anyway. And it's extra hard since I'm pregnant. My best friend's husband even went to therapy and changed himself for her. We've gone to therapy and nothing really changes. Good. Sometimes I feel I didn't choose wisely, but I changed a lot for him and matured as well. And there's things I feel he isn't going to change, and I don't know if I can live like this forever. But man, I envy my best friend's relationship because I want a relationship like hers. I love her and I'm so happy for her, but I truly wish my relationship made me feel fulfilled. Yes, that fulfillment. And something interesting about these relationships, guys, is like girls will sit here and they'll complain, okay, this relationship doesn't make me fulfilled. It doesn't, I don't like being here. And yet they're still in the relationship. And yet they're sitting there, still in the relationship. Guys, let me tell you this. We're gonna pull this up. This is actually super important, okay? So let's look at this part here. I'm just gonna fix my okay. Here we go. Blah 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 blah. This line right here, okay, guys? My best friend's husband even went to therapy and changed for himself and her. Guys, I want to make this very clear, okay? If you're in a long-term relationship with a girl and she's constantly asking you to change yourself, do not change yourself. You can bet money on the fact that if you change yourself, she will walk out the door. This is what girls will do, right? They'll hammer on for you to change. Please change, just hammer on. This kind of stuff will ramp up as well and become more severe if you're having a child, or your future situation in her eyes needs to be more committed, i.e. marriage and stuff like that. She's going to hammer extra hard on you to change and do all these things, okay? Please understand that the moment that you change, she will lose interest in you. Okay, now you can choose to not believe what I'm saying and say, Taylor, that's overly cynical, that's incredibly rude, how could you say that? Guys, go out and try it, honestly. Okay, these are the kind of situations where the dude does change, she'll be out the damn door. But let's have a quick look at some of these comments before we move on to the last story of today. I think you should stop having kids with this person if they aren't going to do anything to progress your relationship, but besides having more kids. Yeah, guys, get married, you know, open up that wallet. Guys, I love the fact, right, that when we talk about relationships, it's progression. Do you know what progression means? It means that the man has to give up and offer more. That's what it is, right? Oh, we need our. I find it so disgusting that like there's tiers inside of a relationship, right? There's like steps and things you have to continue. People aren't content with each other, right? It's always, oh, what can I get out of him more? It blows my mind. Focus on your relationship and what you have going on is what I would suggest. Most really putting your energy into things that will help you. Maybe even leaving the person you're with if they aren't ready to get engaged or married with 2 kids, right? Yeah, guys, you don't want to go into that divorce grinder. You don't want to risk your financial assets in your own children. Hell, you know, the advice that she's getting is to leave you. Isn't that hilarious, right? The advice that she's getting is to leave you. Now, guys, so apologies for just switching up the screens real quick here. I'm just going to see if we've got time for one more story. We may not, as I've got to head out of the house real soon. But guys, you know, I think we actually will call it there. Make sure you leave your comments and thoughts. Absolutely ridiculous bunch of stories today. Always interested to see what you guys have to say. But make sure you come and join the Discord and the locals links in the description, guys. Those are both there. They're totally free to join. If anything happens to the channel insofar as YouTube is concerned, you will be notified through those things. So make sure that you come and join. And but guys, we're going to call it there. As always, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next video. Peace.